everyone. How are you doing this evening? It is yet another Tuesday. It is 6:10, but no show ever starts on time. And it is Starward Bound here on WebDM. I hope everyone is doing glorious this evening. The Dawn Rose is under a bit of construction at the moment, and after a harrowing battle, but we'll get to that in just a minute. First off, I wanted to say, if you aren't already following us, or maybe you want to subscribe, you like what you see here tonight, go ahead and hit that button over there. Amazon Prime gives out a free sub every month, so if you got that just kind of hanging around and you're like, I don't know what to do, send it our way. Maybe you'll like what you see over here. Also, we have to mention our sponsor, Tabletop Loot. If you head on over to tabletoploot.com and you use the coupon code WebDM15, you can get 15% off on shirts, mugs, dice. Here are some of mine that I got myself there. Rolled a 9, but that's okay. It's not that kind of show. But head on over there, use that coupon code, get 15% off. And hey, supporting those sponsors supports us. Another way to support us is Patreon. With these shows and the Wednesday show that's free, if you support us on Patreon, you can have a Monday video and a Friday podcast, and that's 5 days a week of WebDM. So something to think about. So maybe check that out if you're bored. Just so you know, a side note, there will be no RPG in yet again this week. We're still on hiatus, but still those clips, keep your scissors ready, because there could be funny moments, and go ahead and send them in anyway. Who knows? We might do a whole big wrap up when we come back. So let's go around to cast and crew before we get to the ship's log, and starting out with Emma. How are you doing this evening, Emma?
I'm doing okay, Pruitt. It's nice to be here. We're playing Starward Bound D&D. It's been a weird day. That's all I can really say about that right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. It's been a weird day. I'm looking forward to it being a weird evening in space. I'm going to be playing Hildegarde, the captain of the Dawn Rose, feeling a bit emo because her hamster is dead. Yeah, that's where we're at, right?
That's pretty much where we're at. I mean, if that's all you have the emotional fortitude for, I understand.
It was hard to even say it, really.
It's tough times. Hamilton went to a farm, the up belt. Anyway, moving on. Trey, how's it going, man? How you doing this evening? Tell us who you're playing.
Hey, what is going on? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again. Once again, I am always just crazy excited to get this thing going, hanging out with the best crew in space, followed by the best production team and the best D&D dungeon master, spelljam master that there is on the planet, man. Let's get this thing started. I'm playing Dakul, a half-elf Kinsey monk who has a penchant for herbal delights and small rodents. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's move it on over. Kiana, how are you doing this evening? Tell us about your day and who you're playing.
I am doing pretty great. It's been a crazy freaking weekend, so I am glad to be back here going off into space where I know it's going to be crazy and I'm expecting it. So I'm super excited to be back in the metal shoes of E4 for your favorite Warforged Barbarian Murderbot. They are doing okay, question mark. It's just a big question mark over that. Lots of weird things happening with their head and their mind, getting some flashbacks, hallucinations. Who knows? Losing control of themselves. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm sure they're going to be fine this episode, right, Pruitt?
I'm sure they're going to be just fine. Are you losing control or are you assuming control? That is the question. But you should really follow Kiana if you want to watch somebody regulate people's asses on Twitter. Anyway, and last but certainly not the least, Greg, how are you doing this evening, sir? And who are you playing?
I am doing quite well. I love being with these people. I love being in space. I love being with this chat, which is incredibly animated and incredibly intelligent when it comes to D&D and not much else. I'm just kidding. But no, we're here to have a lot of fun. And I love playing Elry Tossbottle, my halfling arcane trickster. This is really I think about this. I play a lot of games. I think about this one the most. I think about these characters the most. I think about the cool and E404 and Hilda and the Dawn Rose. And it's getting to be one of those ones that weaves into the fabric of your life. So whenever you hit an intersection, when your brain goes somewhere, I'm going into space. So I'm glad to be here, Pruitt.
I cannot. Well, thank you. I'm glad that we have created this thing together. But in that vein, why don't you just go ahead and kick us off this evening with the ship's log?
Okay, so as the ship's log progresses, we find, as a camera would be in a very close shot of Elry, there is a fog surrounding Elry as he has his pipe, and he's smoking, and it smells like blueberries in this area. But more so, when he's looking around here at the front railing of the boat, there is a mage hand wearing a glove floating in the air, and his unseen servant Claude has a hat on, indicating where both of them are. And as he turns, he says, Elry's log supplemental. I've gathered you all here to act as my eyes and ears on this boat. It's come to my attention that my friends can get into trouble without me. Yes, my friends, I too was surprised by this outlandish claim, but after cross-referencing my findings with some of those red shirt members we picked up at the last port, I was reminded I am correct. Now, I don't think we have to worry too much about the captain per se. She is a kicker of countless asses. She's smart, she knows when to hold them, she knows when to fold them. Plus, did you see that death carousel she had? It was like a ring around the rosy, except the rosy was death, and the ring was death, and the round was death. It was like spinning ghosts, smacking people with hammers, and I thought you guys would dig that. Yet kicking fucking your ass on the Harlequin's embrace was her business, and cousin business was a booming. Yeah, we don't have to worry about the captain. Now listen, guys. The Cool is my brother, and god damn it, he thinks he's a hero. He was one of the last people off that stupid old pirate ship, the Harlequin's embrace, before it exploded. Exploded! Did he tell you guys that stupid old fucking ear asshole Harkin dropped alchemist fire before he teleported away? Right in front of the Cool! Could have killed him. Now he saved himself, but he damn near got killed. Well, we can't have that. No siree. First that stupid Umber Hulk nearly killed him, and now a dumb old boat full of dumb old fucking ears almost killed my brother. Now he's hooking himself back up to that stupid Nyogi scanning box. Listen, shh. I'm gonna break that thing when no one's looking. Now, hey, maybe you guys can cause a distraction. Oh, maybe. Let's put a pin in that. Wait, remind me though, wait. Elry's log supplemental. Remind me to break Nyogi scanner. Distraction from the guys. That's you guys. And supplemental. Okay, so anyway, when he hooked up to this thing, he saw that dumb old spider. He said he isn't afraid of it. See? See what I mean? He's gonna get himself killed. We need to protect him. He's my brother. I tell you that. Now look, there's E404. Listen, guys. When they get heated, they sort of lose themselves. You understand? It's our job to make sure E404 finds themselves before it's too late. They're my best friend, and I almost lost him on that stupid old fucking airboat. So I wasn't around. E404 grabbed that dickhead call and jumped off at the last minute. You see, E forgets a lot, but they remember one thing. They remember that they're a fucking hero. That's gonna get him killed. Can't have that. Could have lost E404 and the Cool. So That's where you guys come in. If I'm not around or dead or something, it'll be up to you guys to save my friends. You got it? That's my prime rule. That doesn't sound badass enough. No, that's my prime directive. Nailed it. No matter what, you guys save my friends before doing anything else I tell you. You got that? You save my friends. He looks over at the glove, and the glove gives the okay sign, and the hat nods back and forth. Okay, good. Now, what was I doing during the fight? Well, you guys were there, right? Fine. Let's see. I killed that hamster. Claude, we're not going over this again. You know I killed the captain's hamster. I couldn't stop 2 dragonborn, and they were going to take the hamster and eat it. Only way to win, Claude, was to save the damn thing from being cooked alive, was to kill it. Damn, Claude, of course that makes sense. All right. Now, Han, tell him. And the hand gives the okay sign again. See, you get it, Claude? So then I got to shoot the hamster with my gun. Damn it, Claude! You know why? To make sure it was dead and like blown up so that stupid old Dragonborn lost. Instead, he lost. And if he's going to eat anything, it's going to be a spoonful of shit served up from Chef Elry. Now, I saved Captain Sukal. I was like this close to a kiss. That was before, though. That was before. And at this point, Elry reaches up behind him on the railing of the ship, and he touches a crude metal plate that's riveted into the railing, and it says Celestra Spot. You see, guys, I need you to watch my friends because no one else is going to do it. Especially not that loser Ledbetter. That's right, Claude. He is a stupid old loser. You see, I knew he wasn't captain material first moment I saw him. He ain't a tenth of what Captain Hilda is, not a tenth. And you know how I know he's a loser? That had been to call. Dude, I can't even talk. I'd have been captain or E404. One of those guys. You'd have found me laying right next to him. I won't run when the going gets tough. I promise. So that's why I need you guys to watch out for my friends. Watch my family. We'll keep each other safe out here. So listen. I appreciate you guys listening. He reaches over and he adjusts Claude's hat. I love you, Claude. You keep arguing with me. It's a good friend. And he reaches over and he pounds the fist with the glove. You're the best partner out there, Han. And then the camera pulls out a little bit and he hugs Xander. Thanks for forgiving me, Xander. I appreciate you joining the Ghost Crew and helping my friends. And he takes 2 steps, touches the nameplate, and passes out.
Well done. Absolutely well done. Well, Xander then picks up Elry and takes him down to his room and tucks him in and goes about his business. The camera cuts over to across the hall down mid-deck, and we come to Touhou, his room, across from Elry's, near the spelljamming helm at the bow of the ship. And what is Touhou up to at this moment? As it's the next day after the events of yesterday, the explosion, the fight, everything. You immediately tried to use the scanner. Caught a couple of blips. Scanner itself, you're not sure if it's malfunctioned, if it can be repaired. There was quite a lot of popping and fizzing, and much smoke filled the helm's room after the last time it was used. So what is Touhou's What is Touhou thinking here in the wake of all that happened?
So much going on. So much blood that had been spilled. So much loss. Touhou's probably, more than likely, going to reflect within himself again, as he normally does when he just can't find the answer. And it would be way too inappropriate for him to go to his normal spot, is naked and free in order to get closer to the answer. So he'll do that inside of his own room. So he's going to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, he's going to have Hellion sitting in his lap, and he's going to be meditating while holding Hellion, and then try to figure out what the next move is going to be, as far as what the dreams mean and where we can go as a crew.
You meditate. You fall within yourself, thinking about these dreams, especially this last one. You actually spoke with this beast, this Nyogi. And though he did not say it out loud, you feel his name resonating in your mind. You feel this name that you, since the event, it's just it's an echo that you're having to follow kind of backwards to its source, right? As your minds had touched. And that name is Axum Toll. You just hear it every moment, every time you try to still your thoughts. Axum Toll. Every time you try to center yourself and move forward with your thinking, the name resonates. Axum Toll. And you come to an awareness, you're not really sure how long you've been meditating, but that name is on your lips, and it's the first time you say it out loud. As Hellion is asleep in your lap, content, unaware of the greater struggles of the Vortex.
With that, I will take my paints and paint what I have seen with the name in bold letters, Axum Toll. And I will also paint that name above the door, so I see it anytime I come in and out of my room. Axum Toll. I will know who you are, Axum Toll. And there will be a reckoning.
We then move to Hilda's quarters. It's again next day after this event. You've cleaned up your room for the most part. A small spot of blood from Castor's head wound being knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't much. Mostly soaked into the redwood of the floor of the Dawn Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a light knock at the door.
Just say it's open.
Door swings open, and Templeton Ledbetter walks in, looking a little bit better. He's been cleaned up. His arm has been properly dressed. It was, but it was broken in two places. So it's kind of a sling, kind of binding it to his body.
Mm-hmm.
And he just walks in with a long face. Captain, just wanted to have a talk.
We'll sort of stare daggers at him for a second. Just sit down, nod.
And he walks forward, and in your room you have a desk for important captainy affairs, things like that. And he pulls out the chair, and he plops up on the table a full bottle of a light red liquid. On the label itself, it's in very bold, very dwarven. Not a lot of adornment, not a lot of pomp and fare. It's just tell you information. It just says Century Stone Porter, 1542.
1542.
And you do know that the year is 1771.
Yes.
I just wanted to just offer this as a bit of by way of apology. I shouldn't have spoke out yesterday after the fight. My blood was kind of hot. Toss bottle came after me. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Should never question the captain's order, especially in front of the crew.
Ella will look at him. She will take what she's been working on in her hands, which is a small copper figurine of a Yuan-Ti. And she puts it up, a female Yuan-Ti, puts it up on her shelf, and you can see it's right next to a copper figurine of a small hamster and of a few other people.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets out a couple of glasses, sits down, and says, "You shouldn't have said that.
I realize that.
Especially not to him."
Yeah. I know they were sweet on each other. That's tough. I've been there. Been a few centuries, but I've been there. I know what it's like.
Yeah. Well.
But you had to know, Captain. There's no way that I could have known that ship was going to explode like that. The deck was cleared. They had quit firing. Y'all were heading back over. I keep going over it in my head over and over, and I just don't know what I could have done different.
Now, Ledbetter, I don't know what you could have done differently either. It's just the way these things happen. Not always in control of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But next time, if you have serious reservations over what I'm telling you to do, then you tell it to me. You do not tell it to my crew.
I understand. It won't happen again.
Like to think we have a relationship that's built on respect.
It is. I respect you a great deal.
I respect you, Ledbetter. There's a lot you know that I don't.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you want to know?
I want to know what else this ship can do.
He takes a deep breath, like he's really mulling something over, and he goes ahead and pops the cork. The smell. This is like it's basically like a sherry. Like it's a very, very strong wine, and it immediately fills the room. And it's I'll leave it up to you if you've smelled a finer brew. But dwarves normally don't go for this kind of thing, but this is a special brand. And you would have actually heard of this brand. It's called Century Stone Port because they don't sell it until it's at least a century old. So this bottle being well over like 230 years, it's quite a nice brew. As he pours 2 glasses, hands one over. Well, as much as I can figure, you already know about the stealth mode there. The only other thing they told me before we left port is, and he just kind of looks right at you, raises his eyebrows, like, she can also go underwater. I've never seen it myself, but that's what they claim. They told me whatever the cost to not use any of these, whatever you want to call them, Captain. Mode, stealth mode, sub, I don't know. I mean, you know dwarven ships. Our ships go underwater all the time, but that's kind of I guess that was the dwarves' contribution to this 3-race deal.
Built an invisible underwater flower.
Well, she's not full invisible, but she's ripe for sneaking up on folk on ships. Yes. I guess in the interest of gaining your trust. I should tell you that, have you ever heard of an organization called the Silent Eyes?
Silent Eyes. You know, Ledbetter, my memory's not what it used to be, but I'm not sure.
Well, they're usually information brokers. Info network. I've worked for them for a better part of a century and a half. That's why I'm here. I'm here to find out about this ship. I used all my influence, all of my name recognition to get on this vessel, figure out what's going on. Because it just seems odd.
What about it seems odd?
Well, I mean, ships out here, we don't have a sending stone, no way to communicate with home base. That's just standard fare for spacefaring vessels. I mean, you got to be able to communicate. And they threw this thing together in 3 months, I think. It's
not right. It was busy.
It was 3 months, and then we're out the door, up into space. Everything I've been able to find out, it just doesn't add up.
Kind of feel the same way.
Why wasn't this ship put into the FTL fleet? Something like this, brand new. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. This comes from a human world. FTL is all that they want. They want a seat at the table. They got a seat at the table. They've been heading up the FTL this whole time for the last 40 years of its 50 years of its existence. I mean, that's why I'm here.
Thank you for your honesty. Yeah, it is pretty odd, but it isn't a military ship. We've already found that out. As for why it's supposed to be here, I don't know. It'd be nice to think they really do just want us to explore. No, that's never the way it actually goes.
That's true.
Who on this ship would know? Because they certainly didn't tell me. And I gotta say, it's pretty funny. I fucked up your plans, didn't I? Being the captain. You're saying Ellery fucked up your plans a little bit.
No, it's fine. I'm still around. I can still I'm still here gathering info. I mean,
you sending it back?
I send what needs to be sent on, but I'm trusting you with that information to do with as you see fit. You are the captain, but I'd like you to keep that as much under your hat as possible.
Be far from my only secret, Ledbetter. Well, not quite sure where we go from here.
Well, there's plenty of repairs to be done. We policed all the bodies. There are those sailors that want wanted traditional burial. So whenever you'd like to have that ceremony, we're near the asteroid belt. We can send them out to be adrift, like they should be. There are those others we should probably drop off. Portal on the way out of the sphere. There'll be an FTL ship there. We can leave them with them. And also, whatever we want to do about Keiko. I mean, she does head up the FTL fleet here in the sphere, so they're probably looking for
her. When Ledbetter is talking about the funerals, he can notice that Hilda's eyes are just sort of filling up with tears, just a bit.
And that's why he kind of changed the subject really quickly to Keiko. He sees that.
Yeah. Oh. Keiko's free to do whatever it is she wants to do.
Well, I mean, not to be cold, but we are down a caster, and she can hold her own. We've spilled blood before. Ironwood incursions.
Well, it's certainly up to her. But
yeah,
there's only one thing I need you to do.
What's that?
I need you to try to make it right with Ellery.
I've already put that underway.
Yeah. Not right the way you talk to him.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But with all due respect, ma'am, we went into an attack on a superior force. We only lost 5, and we destroyed their ship with some damage to our own. It was tragic, the ones we lost, but by every metric in every military book I've ever read, that's called a victory. And I just worry that some of these people haven't been around enough of what it's like out here. It's dark, it's cold, and it's only going to get worse.
I understand your opinion, Ledbetter.
I just like to be honest. Sorry if I'm a little blunt.
I know you've lost people, haven't you?
And he takes a deep breath and... yeah, I've lost a few.
Yeah, me too. When you're our age, I don't think that you can get by without it, but...
Dying's part of living. It's the part of living that we all get to experience.
It is. I just don't think I want it to be this much anymore. Not yet. That's not what it's about.
No.
No. The second that stops bothering you, I think you've lost something.
Yeah. Oh, it bothers me. I haven't slept all night. Keep telling Hoban it's just a pain in my arm, but I swear if he tries to push any more of that blueberry shit on me, I'm just gonna throw up.
I think you got something much better than blueberries.
That we do. The only other thing is Lauren wants to step down as Master Gunner. He's took a hit.
Yeah. It's bad.
And got someone I think will work. Name is Sterling Curtis. Excuse me. Sorry, Sterling Nelson.
Sterling Nelson. Well.
Yeah. He's one of them red shirts, but he held true during the whole firefight. He never missed a shot.
How many fingers does he have?
He's got all 10. So he's gone for a mistake or two, but I think he'll do good.
We'll get him down to about 8. A couple weeks. We'll be fine.
Oh, I'm sure. And as we pull out from here, where does the camera in this little montage find E?
E is probably on deck, and they're probably watching a couple of people deal with the last of the cleanup of the bodies. And they just kind of observing with some curiosity, as they get wrapped in sheets and stored.
And you see, and you eventually see Xander walking by with an unconscious Elry going below deck. Elry's tongue lolling out of his mouth, a little drool. And you more feel the heavy footsteps as opposed to hearing them of Cull kind of walking up next to you as you're kind of just staring, taking this all in. And looks like he's got like a tankard of something, and he takes a big quaff and looks around. All I got to say is you fought better than most anything I've ever seen swing a punch.
Is that so?
Yeah. You were cutting through them. What is it you call them? Them pirates?
Oh, I believe the term that we have been using is fucking-ears.
Right, yeah. You were wading through them fucking ears. Never seen anything like it. That was a damn good row. And you see him kind of, as he chuckles, like, and he kind of clasps his stomach where he took a ballista bolt straight to the gut. And he's, bandaged up a little bit, and he's got cuts all over him. I mean, he was at least as torn up as you were at the end of that fight. I'm sure I'm glad you kicked my ass back on Keeper Station. I gotta say that right now.
Why is that?
That was the deal. We fought. You wanted people on your crew. And I said, if you kick my ass, you will get on your crew. Here I am. You kicked my ass. You don't remember?
No, I do not remember. That is a missing file within my data.
And he kind of squares on you a little bit. So, do you just like randomly forget, or is it like when you're fighting, like how does what I'm intrigued. I think that, and he turns and looks like, oh, right, Caster's, he's recovering. I'm intrigued.
Intrigued is the correct term. I do not know exactly, but I believe more people have noticed it is when I am fighting. I do not have control over the deletion of these files. I believe it may be a corruption. I do not know.
Damn. That's you got a bit of a gift and a curse. Because I think that when I let the bloodlust in, that's when I'm the most alive. I remember everything. I remember how it smells. The blood, the sweat, the struggle. That's what living is.
Is that what living is?
Living is throwing yourself up against what life gives you and going right fucking through it. That's what living is. Been living my whole life.
So, solving obstacles.
That's one way to look at it. I like to put my fist through obstacles as much as possible, but sometimes it's better to use words. That's why Caster's helping me better myself. I feel bad about the boy.
Is he getting repaired now?
Oh, he's fine. I just told him to go take a nap. He's got a bonk on the head. He's no worse for wear. But if something would have happened.
And E's head kind of turns back towards the last of the bodies being put away. I'm sure the crew coming out now and doing whatever. Will they get repaired soon?
And he kind of turns his hulking mass and looks at them. He's like, no. They went up against life and they didn't go through. They're dead. That's it. All their files got deleted.
Well, my files were deleted. I believe that I existed for some time and then was deactivated.
Existed? What do you mean? Existed where?
I do not know.
You okay? And he kind of like gives you a rap on the back a little bit, like.
I think so. I never knew, but I've been having what you may call visions.
And his eyebrows kind of climb up like. Visions? Wait, you having dreams? You can't dream?
I have never dreamed before, but I believe these images and videos get pulled up in the times that I do not remember.
Well, have you ever thought about like making it happen? Like you want to, we can give a scrap right now. Maybe it'll happen again. You can tell me what you see.
The captain said we should not fight on the ship.
Well, that's... And he kind of leans in very, conspiratorially. We're not supposed to talk about it. There's no fighting on the ship. By the letter and the law, if we go under the ship, we're not on the ship. Right?
That is one way to interpret such words.
Well, me and some of the boys, we get down there and we scrap and toss about. Got to make sure these boys know how to fight, take a punch. If you ever want it to come down, mayhap you can trigger one of them visions.
Perhaps. Though, if we are not supposed to talk about it...
I don't know what you're talking about. And he, gives a big, obvious, wink.
Oh, it is one of those social codes. Writing. I understand now.
All right, because you just lost me a bit. Yeah, so maybe we'll see you around then, eh?
Okay, will do. Thank you, Cole.
Thank you. You saved me life. I appreciate that. And he kind of gives you a bit of a salute with his mug and quaffs the rest of it and looks at his empty mug and is like, well, time for a refill. And he kind of goes back below decks to looks like he's heading aft towards the galley.
And before he totally ducks out, he said, life is dealing with obstacles, but you don't have to do it alone.
And he turns back and looks at, he's like, kind of gives you a nod. You're right. I'm glad that we're on the ship together, so we don't have to do it alone. And then he continues downstairs, stairs groaning under his weight as he go. There's a call for a few hours later. There's a call for services. They will be conducting a funeral for those sailors that lost their life during the exchange. All the crew on the Dawn Rose that passed, they were all traditional sailors, and they would want to be, let out at sea, as it were, but here in space, let out into the void. It's like I said, it's a few hours later. Elry, you're asleep in your bunk when you feel like a shake of your leg, like a persistent shake as you're just kind of spread out on the bed in however you sprawled out and passed out when Xander came and tucked you in.
Okay, so did Xander help Elry out of his clothes?
Oh no, you're still clothed, but it looks like you were tucked in, and maybe your sheets and your...
I was going to say, then Elry did not have a comfortable sleep, because he, as E404 can tell you, Elry sleeps in the nude.
Well, then, so, yeah, your bedding is just disheveled as you've been tossing and turning. But regardless, there's another insistent shake. You need to wait.
As one of Elry's eyes kind of creep open, the glove hand beside his bed floats up as well and comes to rest and kind of brushes some of his hair out of his eyes for him.
Mm-hmm.
Who's there?
And you through, matted, tired eyes, you look, and you see a very amused, maybe? You're not sure? You've never seen this look on her face before in your brief interactions, but Captain Sokal is standing there, kind of, holding her side, looking down at you, shaking your leg one more time. It's like, you'd probably be more comfortable if you got out of those clothes before sleeping.
Right. Ghosts. They just don't know what to do with you.
Right. Yes, they do haunt, but other than that, I guess they wouldn't, would they? Well, I was sent to tell you that we will be conducting funeral services for your fallen men and women in just a brief time. And I just wanted to come to say thank you. And also to deliver a message. And she kind of like looks up, like kind of just looking to the upper deck somewhere. And she brings out from behind her back and plops down on your table, on your side table, a square bottle of bright red liqueur with the label on it, Century Stone Port, year 1550. I was told to bring you this by way of apology from the first
You
mate.
don't have to. The floating hand floats down and begins to, just like a cat, start pushing the bottle towards the edge of the nightstand.
Okay, and like Sokal like picks that up, is like, okay, I cannot allow that to happen. This is probably the finest dwarven liqueur that you could possibly have. I think you should at least try some before you so haplessly toss it off a table.
Fine.
Like to share a drink.
I was going to suggest the same thing as the glove floats up and presses both of his eyebrows across.
And she like looks over and finds maybe like a couple of dirty glasses and like cleans them. I'm not sure Elry's room hygiene, but just
it's exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah, I'm extrapolating here, but yeah, she like looks around and finds like maybe an old shirt and wipes down a couple of glasses, and then she considers like, well, it is alcohol, so it'll probably kill anything, and she fills up.
Just drink from the bottle. You're safest if you drink from the bottle.
Yes, you're probably right. And so she pours you a glass and slides it over to you, and she pours herself a glass and takes a light nip. Just. It's been at least a century since I've had this.
Well, you can finish your glass and then tell me how the fullness of it hits you before I will touch this from that first mate. This could be loser wine for all I know.
Oh. She kind of like screws her face up a little bit at that. It's like, oh, well, not really sure what passed between you two. Well, this is like the first day of spring, when the light rain falls on your face and you can smell the flowers bloom. It's a little like that.
Go on.
And she just kind of takes a drink and like looks at you expectantly.
He will take the bottle from her, not using the glass that she poured. He will pretend to sniff whatever's in there. And he will take a drink directly from the bottle and hand it back to her.
She takes the bottle back and takes a drink from the bottle and then sits it down on the table and recorks it.
So, Captain.
Yes.
What are your plans?
You know, I haven't quite decided yet. I do appreciate you recovering my crew. It looks like she's kind of struggling to... I'm not quite sure I'm ready to go back on another ship. I want him dead.
Oh, you're in the right place. And don't thank me, thank our captain,
Yes.
the one that got your crew.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will send my my thanks to her as well, but you did save my life. I appreciate that.
Just doing my job.
Yes, just doing your job. What is your job, actually? What is the charter of this vessel?
The charter of the vessel?
Yes, what is your intent? What is your mission?
Boldly go. As far as my job, it should be obvious. I'm a winner.
Ah. A winner, you say? Well, here's to winning, then. And she kind of raises a glass and takes another sip.
Yep. Winner.
Do you think it is your captain's intent to hunt down this villain, this Hawken?
I can't speak for the captain, but I guarantee you if she's got a list somewhere, that fucker's name's at the top of it.
Well, then maybe I will sign on to this list so that I can help you erase that name from it.
That sounds like a good idea.
I do agree.
You should be the new first mate.
That might get a little tricky because you do realize my position here in this sphere, yes? It's kind of hard to just walk away from that kind of responsibility.
Well, we're going to fly out of this sphere pretty soon.
That is true.
You don't have to walk away, just hang on.
It's true, but I should probably keep a low profile, as it were.
Let's give you a new name. You can be my wife.
Move a little fast. I don't know that,
It's all an act. Come on, I'm a professional.
Yes, I'm sure you are.
Sounded suggestive. I'd like to continue with that line of...
Well, I'm
But
sure
no-
that we would.
Right. You could be my wife.
We shall, maybe return to this, line of thinking as she kind of, like, looks, and you can hear, like, from up, like, on the deck, they're ringing, like, the bell, like, signifying that they're about to start the procession, the funeral, ceremony. Well, we should join the others.
Yeah. Ellery starts to put a different shirt on off the floor.
Well, she gets up and she starts to walk towards the door and kind of finishes her a swig and returns the glass to the table. You should give Ledbetter another chance. He has saved my life more than once. He is a good man.
You're a lucky one then.
Yes. Well, I hear that not all are so lucky. But anyway, sorry for your loss. And with that, she just kind of inclines her head and gives you another look kind of over her shoulder a little bit, and then like walks out of the room. Does everyone want to join the procession as you're traveling around the asteroid belt? All the bodies have been wrapped tightly in sheets with their most prized possessions laying on their chest. clutched in their hands so they can take their bounty to the next world, as is tradition.
Dakul will most certainly be there. As a lover of life, just from living on the monastery, he would never pass up on a moment to see that type of transition. And in a moment of respect, he's going to use some of the ashes from the burned out wood and all the fire that's been a part of all the destruction, and almost like in a ceremony of the Day of the Dead, smear his face in it, and then cover the outside with white from his paints, almost exactly like in memoriam of Day of the Dead, as a way of respectfully saying farewell to the lives that were taken.
Okay. And you can see various crew members going through, just like Dakul, going through different superstitions, beliefs. Hoban is doing something very interesting. Like, he's a dwarf, but he is kind of shamanistic, and he has some paints marked on his face, and he says like some low prayers and burns some incense, and there's the faintest whiff of blueberries as he's going about doing this around all the bodies. And at the end of everyone doing their personal rituals, Ledbetter, he kind of looks over at Hilda, and he's like, Captain, you want to say a few words before we shove off?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Ledbetter. She's gonna look at everybody and she's gonna say, I know some of you probably lost people before in this capacity on a ship. I'm not one of those people. And to me, in what I do, death is supposed to be a natural thing, and I suppose it is. But it's difficult still when you know these people. And God damn you, Pruitt, making me do a speech. I don't know any of us can know what this is going to be like as we keep on going. I sincerely hope we never have to do anything like this again, but we probably will, if we're all honest. So I hope that while we're here, we can remember them down there. And that we can remember that this time together makes us the crew of the Dawn Rose. And that means something while we're here. And then she gets very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives some sort of sacred blessing. She touches each of them, leaves a little copper sparkle on them. Mm-hmm. And then she just leaves.
Yeah, and
goes back into her quarters.
And as she does that and leaves, anybody in attendance, as she turns and touches the last person, you see just like kind of a brief like flit of light from each person, as there's just like a spark of light that just kind of, and then it's just gone. And you're not even sure if you really saw it. I mean, it's like, most people, they stand up too fast, you see sparks in your vision, like lines, whatever. And this was almost like that, except it was simultaneous, and it was from all of those that were laying on the deck of the Dawn Rose. And even you see Ledbetter even like kind of like look at his eyes and look around, and he looks back at Hilda and then just kind of shakes his head and walks over and begins to help pick up and push out from the Dawn Rose those that have fallen. And as y'all head on towards the edge of the Nerosphere, you leave behind your honored dead and move on to greater adventures. It's going to be another couple of days to get to the actual edge of the sphere. It's one of those things where, like, y'all have never left a sphere before, so you've never actually, like, thought about, or maybe you have, or what that would look like, but you never can really see a sphere. It is perfectly clear. You look out and you just see the expanse of space beyond your, into infinity. But as you start to approach in the distance, as repairs are continuing on the Dawn Rose, the back mosaic is being put back in by those with like mending or there are there are those that have like glassworking skill that take the pieces and kind of put them back in order. The holes in the ship are slowly fixed. First starting with the hole that was in the spell-jamming helm room, scorch marks around its edges, and within, like I said, a couple of days, the ship is back functional. Like she'll be able to be seafaring, without leaks probably. Never know, things like this. And within a couple of days, you begin to see the gate out of the Neurosphere. It is a standard portal. Templeton would have alerted you beforehand, like what to look for, and tell the helmsman like exactly which direction to head. This is a gate that is patrolled by the FTL because it is a semi-permanent portal through the Neurosphere. And at that time, it's not long before you finally come upon it, and it's almost just like a ring that is floating in space. Like it's the closer you get, you can start to actually kind of make out like the wall of the sphere, but it's still hard to see until you start looking sideways. You keep going, and then you can start to see the distortion of light as you're looking down the wall of the actual sphere, and you realize that no, this is a crystal globe that encompasses a solar system, and that they have gone and put this portal, which Templeton would describe as basically, when it's turned on, there is a tunnel that is shunted into the ethereal plane. Like that glass is residing in the exact same spot, just on the ethereal plane. That at a moment's notice, sorry, got gnomes on the brain. Thanks, Emma. And they can turn it off, the gate off, and close the sphere off. But as you approach it, you see a dwarven vessel coming out to greet you. Now, dwarven vessels, not sure if y'all have ever actually seen one, because the dwarves have kind of drawn back into their own domain as the FTL has taken over the protection, patrol of the Neurosphere and the other human spheres. But this is a legacy vessel that was donated to the FTL to help them get started. As you can see, it's the Astral Hammer. Start pulling up. It's a it is a long, very smooth. It's made of looks like a dark rock, some kind of stone. You can see some windows on the top center of it, as there's kind of a bulb there, and you can see dwarves kind of walking by the windows. There are some kind of doors on the front of each side. You're not really sure like what they're for, but this vessel just quietly and without sails glides up alongside the Dawn Rose, and on the front of the vessel itself, there are two massive slats that begin to, like, there's a sound and of a click and grinding and groaning, and eventually, like, these massive doors start to fold up and open on the front of this vessel, and it opens up into like a deck, and there you can see, as it's pulling up, you see a contingent of dwarves wearing the colors of the FTL, the blue and white uniforms of the FTL. There's 3 catapults lining the front of this ship underneath these doors. They're in a resting, kind of closed off position. But like I said, there is a contingent of 3 dwarves, one being flanked by 2 others, as the ships come alongside one another. And the dwarven captain calls out, this is Dawn Rose? I mean, it's quite obvious, but protocol and all.
Nobody else speaks up. Hilda will. Yep.
Is Captain Ledbetter about?
No. Captain Hildegard is.
Oh, my apologies. I trust that nothing has befallen the Ledbetter.
No, just a shuffle in leadership. He's here. Would you like to speak with him?
Oh, yeah. And they exchange nods of mutual respect. And you see the captain of the Astral Hammer. He introduces himself as Captain Abnick. He's like, just wanted to make sure to be able to be here to see you off. Where are y'all headed? Where's the first destination for this vessel?
We're heading to the Touhou sphere.
Oh, it's a mighty long haul. Plan on stopping off anywhere? There's a couple of spheres on the way.
Got any suggestions of sights to see?
Well, I mean, there's always stuff to do in the Touhou sphere. That's the next one over. Mm-hmm. Faustus, you need to stay careful. Stay careful there. That's rife with pirates. We usually just keep a patrol outside that sphere.
Yeah.
Try to keep them hemmed in, but you know, they're pirates. They know the ways through. But
what's the best place to resupply?
Well, I mean, there's a civilization pretty amenable to trade in the Touhou sphere on the planet Nil. It's usually where people stop off, but you know,
good bathrooms, nice snacks.
Yeah, they keep them separate, so that's good. Yeah. You're gonna get out there at certain places. They in and out at the same time. It's really weird. Never got used to it. Dragonborn.
Yeah. Dragonborn, you say? Interesting.
They don't have time for anything. They're always worried people are gonna hunt them or something. I don't know. They're a peculiar species.
It's very unfortunate when people hunt down Dragonborn and murder them without any remorse. Yes.
He kind of like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I was joking. Ha ha. Ha. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, well, we were just wanted to see you off. Is there anything, any messages we can take? How are y'all holding up? Looks like y'all had a bit of a scrap. He's kind of like looks at the front of the ship and sees like the recent repairs.
Okay. She'll look around at Ellery and Touhou and E. Like, yeah, a little running with pirates. No biggie. It's all right.
Pirates, huh?
Yeah.
I heard there was recently something in Neros 4. Where it's come down the pipeline. Told to keep a lookout. hadn't seen anything. So, you had a run-in with him, eh?
Just a touch. It wasn't the worst thing in the world.
Well, I mean, y'all are here.
Yep.
It's gonna be good, right?
We're here. They're not. Pretty good.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, I mean, y'all are free to go ahead and pass through, unless you got anything else.
I don't. Do the rest of y'all?
Templeton leans forward. He's like, "Ma'am, there's all the bodies from the FTL wreck."
Oh shit. Yeah.
Just kind of steps back.
We did recover these people. Sorry to say, pirates got to them first.
Oh, okay. What got people from where? From what?
FTL fleet, right?
Yeah, the Wind Caller was the ship.
Yeah. We found the remains of the Wind Caller. Tracked down the ship that we believe did it. They're the ones who did this to us.
Elry leans forward and whispers to Hilda,
The captain is presumed missing.
Yeah, not sure what happened to the captain's call, but...
And you kind of see him stutter, and his face kind of has gone a little white. He's like, Wind Caller? I mean, that was our flagship here in the... Damn it. But you said you got him back, the bastards?
We did our best. We didn't get all of them. That goddamn fucking ear Harkin.
And he spits on the deck of his ship.
Hilda spits on the deck of their ship.
That Harkin. Heard that name way too much lately.
Yeah.
Well, that makes you got him, you say?
We got their ship, but he got away.
Well, that confirms 5 ships that he's the FTL that he's taken out.
Yeah.
So, thank you kindly for recovering our dead. We'll see if they get back to their families to be dealt with as they see fit.
Yes.
It's a shame about the captain, though. Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. She just wasn't anywhere. It happens. But
go ahead and make a deception.
Can I assist with that at all?
yeah, please do.
Sure.
I give you assistance.
Thank you.
E for once knows to not say anything.
Right.
And so does that cool.
She got an 18.
18. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's genuinely upset. I mean, it's gonna be tough to replace her. She's a hell of a fighter. Strong
I
tactical
understand.
mind.
Yeah. We're missing some very important crew.
Yeah.
Some other we lost someone else very important.
Yeah. Well, my condolences, but again, thanks for and he's already kind of directed his men to start kind of transferring the bodies to the astral hammer, and they begin lining the front deck of the ship. And well, if there's anything you need, I mean.
Yes, Captain. Before you leave, have you had any run-ins with Nyogi anywhere in your travels?
Well, I mean, a call went out to all the ships in the Neurosphere to keep a lookout. I hadn't seen anything. I'd hoped that it was, I'd hoped that there was just a drill or something. But we had heard rumors about something on Neros not too long ago, a few weeks back. I mean, word sometimes takes a little while to get out this far, get to the edge, but damn it. I'll redouble patrols, but no, I mean, I haven't seen anything myself.
Oh, okay. I am a scholar studying the Nyogi species. I was hoping you would have some information, or maybe point us towards a neighboring port or city that may have a professional that knows more than I.
And he kind of like sits there and he's like, well, I mean, there is a one of those Mag-8 Acadium colleges over in Touhou. They might have, something. They supposedly got a big library there. What was that? There's somebody in the Touhou sphere. I can't remember his name. Wizard type.
A wizard?
He's a loner.
Oh, a hermit.
He's a hermit. What's his name? I think he's a human.
Oh.
I honestly can't. And it looks like he's like struggling. Like it's, it's one of those things you hear among sailors. Like if you need to find something, you go to this guy. But honestly, I'm drawing a blank. But he supposedly lives in the Touhou sphere by himself. He's got a tower all by himself. It's about as much as I can recall. But
I believe you, kind sir. That is plenty of information. Thank you so much for your time.
Again, well, thank you all for dealing with those pirates and for seeing that these folks can find their final rest. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And it's not too much longer. Finish moving the bodies over, and looks like he's kind of just like, well, unless there's anything else, safe travels. It's pretty dark out there, but hope you enjoy your trip.
You as well, sir.
Oh yeah, I patrol duty. It's a dwarf's life for me. He kind of like gives a light chuckle at what he thinks is a funny joke, and kind of turns on heel and moves back to the astral hammer, and it begins to slowly pull away as he starts to walk on a stairway from the deck below deck, and the large doors begin to and like close and slide, and it once again becomes like a smooth ship that just glides into the inky black, and y'all begin pulling. Templeton calls for y'all to pull straight through the gate and on out into the Phlogiston.
Hold on, before we go into the Phlogiston, I have heard that no flame shall be permitted in the Phlogiston. And that's when Touhou pulls one from behind him. Now keep in mind, he still has a ceremonial paint on that he will keep on for around 7 days. So he's going to be looking like somebody from a dead president's poster with all inked up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to look directly at Elry. Since you missed the last one, my friend, there is no way we are about to hop out of this sphere into no man's land and us not take one back. Hilda, please accompany us as we say farewell to this sphere. E404, could we please use the fire from that's inside of you to light this ceremonial blunt?
He does it without questions. And also, now that they're freaking 6th level, they can set things on fire. No. So, and they take and just kind of put a very large finger compared to, and just boop.
Yes. And as he lights it up, he looks at his 3 other companions. We have had an amazing journey so far. And I feel that we are just now about to be birthed into a whole new world of adventures and the unknown. I wanted to break this particular cigar with my friends as a token of my appreciation and also for luck.
Totally.
Elry, would you please be the first to take the first drag.
Absolutely. I find it to be a deep honor, and because of a deep honor, I shall take a deep drag.
I would like to say, as he talks on this, in memories of our lost ones, including people that we may not consider as important as their larger brothers, such as Helion's brother, who we also have lost. A slight moment of silence. And that's when Touhou will come right over directly to Hilda and just put his arm around her. Just have that moment.
Hilda immediately bursts into tears.
It is a shame he never got the opportunity to reach the potential of his brother.
No. He was good hamster. Just hope he didn't know what was happening.
Probably not.
He's so cute. How could anybody do that to such a sweet, cute little hamster?
Devastating.
Yeah. The world is filled with savages.
Mm-hmm. Heartless.
Yeah. Maybe they thought savages, yes.
You know, I never had children. And I thought maybe I could get just a little bit of that back with a hamster.
Well, there, Hilda. You will always be a mother to Helion. We will raise him as if he is our own.
These were sewer rats that we found.
Sewer rats. But weren't we all coming from someplace that we might not necessarily have wanted to remain? It's about growth. And he was growing. They were growing. All of them, including the crew. We were all growing together.
And Touhou, like as you're saying that, you like look down at. I'm just assuming that Helion is like in his little thing.
Well, Helion, I'm still trying. The cool is still trying to teach him how to heal.
Okay.
He'll be right beside. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
like yeah, you say that and look down, and Helion like somehow has one of your like papers. He's just kind of like rubbing it on the ground, and it has rolled almost into like a roll. There's like nothing in it, but like the paper itself is just kind of like rolled up, and he's just kind of like looks like he's just like massaging the deck of the ship itself, and you kind of see, you're like, what is that? And you're like, oh, and it's like perfectly rolled up paper.
Excellent. Yes.
That's like 3/4 of the whole job.
Yes. I am so proud. I knew you could do it. Yes. You definitely. That's when Touhou's going to take that shell and then finish rolling it up and just give nothing but hugs and kisses and love to Helion. Just, you are so special. Yes.
Hilda will be there too. They're gonna geek out over this. They're gonna like mommy, daddy geek out over this hamster for a while.
Elry's face drops. And when he shares a quiet moment just between he and Helion, as that thing's unemotional, unintelligent eyes look towards his, he simply locks eyes with it in a predatory way and goes,
E has no idea what's going on.
And Helion just like looks at Greg and just like its big dark eyes just.
Not gonna work. Ever.
I believe we are ready for the unknown now.
Okay, yeah, and as you are finishing that up, like you hear Templeton yelling, for everyone to stow all the flames. All flint needs to be as far away from all steel as possible. Battening down the hatches, making sure that all corners are taken care of. No sparks, no flame. We're on cold rations. This is just the way it is. And he's just kind of walking around like as everybody's preparing the ship. As you pull closer and closer towards this gate, the mixture of like, anybody who knows Dwarven or who speaks Dwarven and Elven.
I believe E speaks both.
Okay.
I speak
Yeah,
Dwarvish.
you can make out like this is like a combination. These words of arcane power that are kind of riding around the edge of this portal. They're glowing with a faint bluish glow. And as you pull through the portal itself, you realize you are now like traveling through the glass of the sphere, and it takes way longer than you are all comfortable with it taking. Like, as you're traveling same speed, you begin to see the lights of space, and then you start to see a kind of a glow of like bluish and red, blending into purples from beyond. And after what seems like an interminable amount of time, you finally breach the sphere of the neurosphere itself, and you are now in the Phlogiston, and you feel the ambient temperature lower just a bit. You realize in wild space inside the sphere, it felt like a perfect summer day, a little bit warm, but that's okay. You're flying around in space. Here, the temperature drops, and it drops just a little bit more. And you're not, you that actually have flesh, you're not quite cold unless you're just one of those people, but you're on the verge of being cold as you travel out in the Phlogiston. It's billowing clouds, slowly moving. If you stare long enough, you can actually kind of see them start to move. Keiko comes up from below decks now that you are out, and she actually comes up and has probably the first time y'all have actually seen a genuine smile on her face as she like walks out, and she's looks around at the Phlogiston as you begin leaving the neurosphere behind, which that's the other thing is a view unlike any you have ever had as you exit the sphere and you look up or in any direction right as you exit. One of the only times you can actually see the wall, the glass wall, as you look down the sphere, and it is just like a flat plane in any direction you look. That's how immense this thing is. But as you begin to pull away, it slowly begins to disappear. That wall begins to recede and turn back into just sheer glass. You can see the portal in the distance as you leave it behind. And you begin your travels into the Phlogiston and onward towards which sphere exactly were you heading towards? Were you gonna go ahead and make it all the way to the Touhou sphere? Ledbetter thinks that you can make it if you want. That's one of the advantages of the Dawn Rose, is that it is a little faster than most ships, and it does not require a refreshing of his air pocket as often as normal ships.
Well, what do y'all think? I think Hilda would want to make it straight there if we can, because that's where we believe Harkin is headed to, correct?
Well, what you know is that that's where he was starting his smuggling runs. So
Yeah.
Whatever he was smuggling for the Dawn, it all started in the Touhou sphere. Which is about 3 spheres away. It is the source of... You've heard tales of these giant lumbering celestial beasts that kind of just putter around this immense sphere. Tale of it is like it is about twice as big as other spheres, other normal spheres, like in and of itself. That it is like an immense playpen or a cage for these lumbering beasts that some of them have living like civilizations on their backs and make do. Some of the finest ropes come from the beast foxes. You've heard that tale being rumored about on the deck. There's word of the Magate Acadium College being one of the finest universities to go learn magic on the back of Rontame, the giant manta ray. Of course, everyone wants to talk about Hratzatha, the massive beast that legend has it ate the sun, and then just he stays at the heart of the sphere itself, just curled kind of in a ball, long dead. But as of recently, not too long ago, in fact, it was only a little less than about 50 years ago, the offspring, like Hratzatha had a offspring that finally gave birth to. It was a egg that was lost in its belly. It had never actually like come out, and a while back, some crazy adventurers found this egg and thwarted a cult's plot to control it. You've heard versions of this tale like in inns and on ships. This is one of the oldest tales in the book of the last like 50 years. Is these crazy adventurers that saved this egg, and eventually it hatched, and has been a bit of a headache in the Touhou sphere, because now every mage and every scholar, every zoologist, every animal expert wants to come to the Touhou sphere to see this new beast, and so it's become a slight problem. Actually getting in there in the Touhou sphere, Templeton could tell you that it can be an issue. We shouldn't have any problems because of what this ship is. So you begin traveling. You estimate, Templeton estimates, you go down in the actual navigation area, begin looking at some star charts. Like, it's probably going to take about 3 weeks to settle in, head to the Touhou sphere, and arrive. So walk me through, you have 3 weeks. What is your plans in this time? What do you plan on working on, if you plan on working on anything, but as far as like to pass the time and what you're going to be doing in the ship with yourselves, whatever. So I want to start with Elry.
Elry is spending his time working with the carpenters on ship, especially the gunners, and he is getting a ballista bolt outfitted that has quick hook attachments to it. So if he is wearing a rig with an eye hook, he can connect himself to the ballista bolt and be fired without having to tie himself up anymore. He also wants to put platforms on the ballista, so if he can get somebody else on there, he can quickly kind of, almost like a lumberjack uses to climb a tree real quick. Mm-hmm. He can spin him around and, lash him and lock him to it. He also wants to, the time permitting, if he wants to be able to attach some type of platform to the catapult, and the platform is going to have 2 spaces in it that are cut out to fit E404's feet. In the event that they need to make a long distance approach, he would like E404 to be able to be loaded into the catapult securely and aimed a little bit better, with the fact that they would become the ammo kind of attached to. Okay, we got it. So it's a lot of geometry, and Elry is fascinated with the idea. So he's just working on these ballista bolts that he would be able to get himself hooked up to quickly and fire himself off into space. He is also working on a rig to, like I said, to help everybody else kind of get hooked up quickly as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The basically one of Cole's men. It's actually Smart Gene. He's a bit of a carpenter, and so explain what you want, and the ballista, he's a little like, oh, I think I can make it work. I think I can. That's going to be tough, but catapult, definitely. We can just put a nice little attachment. It'll be easy. We can snap it on, take it off. And he kind of looks over at E. Once we fire that thing off, yeah, no, I like it. I love it. And he goes to like measuring, and eventually E, at some point in this time, a very well groomed and well dressed dwarf, namely one Smart Gene, comes over. He's like, "You mind if I just measure your feet? I need to do something for Master Toss Bottle."
I do not mind.
And he begins to measure your feet, and he's just kind of mumbling to himself, and he's got like a little pencil, and he's scratching on some paper, and like you can see like a diagram of E. You can see yourself on this diagram, and there's like a platform, and he's standing on, and he's got like all these numbers like A squared plus B squared and whatever.
Yeah,
and
he's totally like looking with fascination, kind of just like.
It looks like he's calculating weight, mass, trajectory, things like that. And after he takes his measurements and whatever, he like measures your height and your like pretty much all your dimensions, trying to find your center of mass. And he like, sorry to bother you. I'll get right on this. Haha. And he just looks pleased as punch. And he goes off to the forward catapult, and he's over there like sawing wood and whatever. So E, that weird encounter aside, what are you planning on getting up to?
So E knows enough that they get really hot when they go into the blackout fighting, so they're not going to be doing any fighting. Try to be not as stressed as possible, be like as peaceful as possible. Basically, they're going to be helping out whatever the crew needs in terms of, they kind of come to E if anything's too heavy, because E can usually pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, they're kind of just observing things, writing things down, and sometimes just taking time to try to get a vision, try to focus on what that file is in their brain.
What are you trying to do to reach that? Are you trying to do any kind of are you just computating? Are you just processing? Or are you actually like trying to do any kind of physical activity to spur it on? Or
they kind of remember what position they were in those visions, like what all the other E's look like, and probably goes off to Hilda's room to have a quiet moment to do that, because he doesn't really need their own room. So they kind of just try to mimic that as much as they can, and just try to process every single piece of data they have, try to search for what it is.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check. As E is...
That is 19.
E is clearing their cache, and you manage to stumble upon a file. You feel your eyes going red, and you feel this familiar feeling of your control starting to slip away. What is your first thought as soon as you feel this kind of whirling, these gears start whirling up?
Shut it down.
Okay. Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Nice knowing you.
16.
16. Okay. Yeah, you start to feel that familiar whirling, and it's usually like the feeling that you get right before your files like get deleted. Like you feel this ramp up of action and momentum within you, and you manage to like stave it off and like stop it, and you reroute a subroutine in your head and manage to like actually circumvent it, and you and the redness kind of filters out of your eyes again, and you calm back down. You return to normal programming, normal functionality.
He's immediately going to go find one of their friends.
Okay. He is charging out of the room and almost runs over Hilda as Hilda's returning to the like captain navigator area.
Oh.
Sorry, Hilda.
What's going on, E?
I have been searching for a file, but I may have triggered something. I managed to exit out of the function in time, but I almost did what I do when I fight.
You did? Hilda gets out her notebook and a magnifying glass, and she holds a hammer with notebook. Just tell me, what did it feel like? What did you think? How did you stop it? Did it hurt in your abdomen?
There was certainly an increase in activity within the mechanical gears within. It is a strange feeling. I have not paid attention to it before.
What file were you trying to access?
It is as some would say, visions of. It is a possibly almost deleted file from my past.
Hilda goes back and she puts down all her stuff. And she takes out a flask. That's a very long drink. And she says, you don't have to do it right now. I'm going to need you to tell me everything. Because this is important. Fascinating.
So he will kind of, talk through the, them being a warehouse filled with other E's, and of also some chaos happening of human coming and activating all of them, including themselves. Mm-hmm. And as they try to run out the door, all they saw was a giant eye and a giant smile underneath it.
Hilda's flabbergasted. And she writes everything down furiously. And she says, thank you for telling me. Do you want to know more? Maybe we could try to help you figure this out.
I would like that. Hilda?
Yes.
Are you sure I was the only one to be found?
Well, you were the only one I found. But if those files are true, I don't think you're the only one. How could you be? Oh. This can be very important, When I found you, you're in one container. I always thought it might be bigger. It's hard to tell. Who would make something like you, something so special? in something so new and only make one of you? No. It might have been an escape pod. It may have been an attack. You may be the only one who got out, but maybe not. Who knows? What do you think?
I am not sure. I do not want to draw any conclusions off of 2 corrupted video files.
Well, if you let me inspect your neck and maybe remove parts of it, we might figure it out.
I trust you, Hilda, if you think that would help.
Hilda will give you a big hug. I think it will.
I am glad you found me.
I'm glad I found you too, E.
So Hilda goes to try to inspect E. Hilda, you're noticing as you finding out this information. Anytime you get to work on E, it's nothing but excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But you find it's hard to focus on the
Yes.
task at hand.
It is.
So go ahead and give me a smithing roll.
Okay.
But I want you to go ahead and make that at disadvantage. As
Okay.
Recent events are kind of clouding your, every time you go to try to focus on something,
Mm-hmm.
you get flashes and of the battle,
Yes.
all that was lost.
Imagine Hilda does not sleep well without Hamilton. They used to snuggle.
Yes. It was the only time that he was actually kind of not a fucking, nightmare.
Hilda doesn't know what you're talking about, Pruitt.
She sits in her 4-post bed that is chewed all to hell with her dresser that the legs are almost chewed off.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's saved all of those little chewings, too. She's gonna make a pillow and fill it.
a pillow of wood chips.
A pillow. That's all she's got left. Okay. Disadvantage. Yes, it is not feeling great to be trying to do all this stuff. Oh, I rolled really well. Despite that, this time she's able to focus on her love for E. So she got 21.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have messed around with E enough that you have figured out certain spots on E that trigger certain things, and you're pretty sure that you have narrowed it down to this spot on E's neck, on the back of their neck, it has something to do with their memory. You see all the little cogitators in there working furiously when you've done experiments in the past, things like that, and recalling information. You hear it, and so you manage to find this certain switch, and you flip it, and E, while you're standing there, the images that you have seen while going in and out of rage begin to flicker and flash. Not all smooth, not an actual video, but flash images begin popping, and they begin actually different eyes see different images, what you were receiving from your eye. It's not matched up, but you kind of, your eyes blink, and Hilda, you see this, E's eyes kind of flash red and their normal color back and forth for just the briefest of seconds. And E, you know that you basically played through all of the visions you have seen up till now, looking around, seeing the reflection in the back of the head of the unit in front of you. Flash forward to the building being attacked, and a wall crumbling, and humans running up trying to turn these other units on, the door ripping to the side, that face coming through. And right when you expect it to end, you are in this warehouse. This massive sphere is hovering just in the doorway, smoke billowing in through as the vacuum of the room kind of sucks the air in from outside, and it begins to slowly pull through, and out of the mist floats this bulbous orb with this scaly kind of purples going into red, going into blue skin. Massive mouth just in the hugest grin. One of the E units begins like running up to it, bringing its ham, going into a hammer to go swing at it, and an eye stalk comes down and points at it, and a green ray shoots out, and you see that unit like and just fall to dust on the ground and just kind of collapse into dust, and it just kind of, and there's a flourish and contrails of the wind rushing in. And it begins to move further towards the center of this factory. There's more screaming. Another unit begins running forward, and it points another eye at it, and a bluish ray shoots out and picks the unit up and just kind of holds it up, like the eye shifts up towards the ceiling, and it raises up out of sight into the smoke, and you just see its eye just holding that as it floats ever closer. And it begins to just fire a ray here, and you see one kind of slowing down as it's running towards it. Its green ray goes off again, and another one turns to dust. And it's just looking around, and after all the active units have been dealt with, this thing, this beholder, looks at the bounty of units left. And you're back in front of Hilda as the laugh cuts off. It still echoes in your mind. This laugh of just pure joy. Of you've seen children, these human fleshy children, get new toys and laugh with such gusto. Like, this stays with you. And now, E, you are able to completely recall all of those visions. You can pull the files up without any kind of issue. You can replay every moment of that thing, that beholder, coming in and just taking these units apart one by one by one. And those files are there at your beck and call.
So E kind of snaps out of it, and like their head like jerks back. Oh. And he kind of gets up. I may need a moment to process this new information.
Okay, that's fine. Hilda will just lightly. She has a little plant behind her. She's just going to move it from what's behind her to something that's in front of E. And say, okay, let me know when you want to talk.
Thank you, Hilda.
And as E begins to look for whatever solace that they can find with this new information, this new data, to add to their calculations, we follow Hilda as she begins to walk about the ship doing her captainy things. So what is Hilda doing to, other than E helping E out?
She is mostly trying to repair the ship. She's pretty much constantly trying to mend it as much as she can. And something she's noticing as this time goes on where when she used to do that sort of thing, her repairs, they would look look hot and coppery and orange. They're getting cooler and darker and grayer as she does it, especially when she thinks about what's happened on the ship. Everything gets from a warm copper to sort of a cool steel color. You can kind of see it, like she's working on just one wall. I imagine it on one side is slowly copper and just turning dark. And that's mostly what she's trying to do. She's trying not to talk to anybody because she doesn't really like what's coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you have succeeded for the most part working on the hull of the ship, and you helped them finish off fixing the mosaic. The glass cutters managed to get all the pieces together and letting people that can mend them back together, like the broken pieces. Like, just, I mean, ow! Hang on just a second. That hurt. My cat just ripped my earphones out of my ears while jumping off my lap, so sorry about that. Anyway, where were we? So you began finishing the mosaic, and then you move on to finish off the helm room. At this time, Xander is at the helm, sitting contentedly in the room, his eyes closed, as they always are whenever someone's piloting, just to focus on the task at hand. There's still the markings of the where the explosion kind of blew the hull in here. And as you're moving about, repairing and everything, it's only after a few minutes you notice like Templeton is like in the doorway, and he's like staring at that hole. Just,
look him, look the hole. You know, share this with the class. Stand with yourself.
Yeah. Well, Captain, I've just been going over it, mulling it over. What do you think it was that actually killed Celestra? I've been in many battles. I've seen ships take a hell of a lot more of a pounding than the Dawn Rose took, and the pilots came through no problem. She was strong of will. And there's just, I keep coming back to it. And he like looks at that hull and he's like, I think it was the explosion. I think, he points at the hole, he's like, you ever been around a wizard when they pop off like that shatter spell? The concussive force pops your eardrums.
Never that, but something similar. Way back. Yeah.
And he like looks back at that. Like, I wonder what that explosion did to this room.
Well, maybe destroyed it. She was sitting there. She saw it. It's kind of like watching her own body tear apart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then how'd the ship get away?
I was really hoping you'd tell me that. It moved in a way I've never seen, never felt. Knocked me off my feet.
I felt that too.
I built a lot of my life around the belief that technology is greater than the things we do with it.
Yeah.
Dwarves didn't think so. Elves kind of did. They kind of get it.
Yeah.
But, we're living here. Xander told me. Every time he's been flying the ship, it makes him feel sad. Noticed it too.
Yeah, I've taken a few turns at the helm. I noticed that at first, but I was going to bring up to you. Almost feels like the more we repair it, the feeling's kind of slipping away.
Yeah. Well. There are things we can't know about anything. But if everything I've done means anything, it's that things like this ship are more than just a tool.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking too. All right. Sorry to bother you. You look like you're busy.
A little bit.
He turns and just slowly starts walking back upstairs.
All right. She'll look back after him and then go back to what she's doing. Only this time she will give the ship a very nice pat and start singing it a song.
Okay. You kind of start to hear like Xander hum along with your song after a few minutes. And Touhou, what's going to be your focus in these intervening weeks of travel, about 3 weeks or so, as you were heading out from the Neurosphere?
Touhou's head is in a strange place. Normally, his meditation keeps him centered. He falls back on the teaching of his monk elders to help center him, and through meditation, one of the only ways that he can get there, the fastest way he can get there is through his herbs. But seeing as how there's been a ban on flames, he is having to find new ways of coping. So Touhou is painting and drawing everything. He's got a notepad in his hand with paints or his stencil, and mostly he's painting a lot of the visions that he had with the Nyogi standing on the asteroids, pushing the heads in of the random people, the place that looked like an arena of where he was, the small faint visions of who his mom was, the few remnants of the memories that he does have, and also finding solace in teaching Hellion just the basics of fetch, sit, stay, and hoping that it's going to stick. I do know that he's not going to just be sitting in his quarters painting and drawing. He's going to be around and peeping in and looking at what people are doing and sketching those things. And more noticeably, he's going to be probably hanging around the area where Elry is as they're fashioning this new contraption that he thinks he might kind of figured out, but not really. So I don't know if it's going to be like a way of just getting Elry's attention, but he's going to like throw some little makeshift ball that he's made for Hellion to fetch and bring back, and throw it in Elry's direction so that Hellion can go fetch it.
Okay. So at some point, Elry, while your smart gene has come up, and he's basically like, it's been about a week or so, and he's like, all right, I think I got it. I think this will work. We're gonna need Eve to do a test, but I just wanted to see what you think about it. And he's got a pretty nice, stable, looks like a stable platform with looks like a belt that goes around the bottom of the catapult to hold it in place, but it's got a bowl that fills the catapult up and on either side of it, it's got stable places for E's feet to go down in. And if E were to kind of just like stand in that and then squat, you would be right over the perfect your center mass. And he's like explaining to Elry, he pulls out these like parchment papers with just like math all over it, like trajectories and like, you know, E404, you know. And as Elry's eyes are starting to glaze over a little bit, Elry, you feel like a little thump at the back of your calf, and as you maybe turn to look at it, you see Hillian running to like fetch a little wooden ball that has bounced off and is rolling free.
Elry will kick the ball away from him. He will then turn back towards Smart Gene, and he'll say, "Smart Gene, this looks great. And you know it was even better than this like kill him with math papers that you have here? Is that you call my best friend E404 and not that thing. When you said that thing, it made me want to carve your eyes out of your head. So E404 just sounds and makes me feel a lot better. So thanks."
Yes, sir, Mr. Master Toss Bottle.
Elry, we're friends, Smart Gene.
Elry, thank you. Yeah, I think that that E404 is pretty swell.
They're awesome. My best friend. I tell you that.
You have on multiple occasions. Yep. And he kind of like slowly, like kind of his hand shaking just a little bit, goes back to like doing some more calculations. And Touhou, you see Elry like kick the ball and Hellion goes and off and chases it kind of to the starboard of the ship.
If Hellion brings the ball back, I'm going to grab the ball and throw it again at Elry, but this time hits him quite forcefully with the ball in the head.
All right, go ahead and give me an attack roll, like you would do with a normal ranged weapon.
Right.
Are you using your bonus action for bonus damage?
No.
Okay. Wanted to make sure.
8 and 5 is what, 13? Yeah.
13. What's Elry's AC? Well, Elry, you did say that you turned back to Smart Gene, yes?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so in that case,
can Elry catch it coming in?
Well, first off,
like
Touhou, you can make that with advantage because Elry is not watching, so he's unaware that you're about to like try to bean him in the back of the head.
Oh, well, then that's the case. Look at that other one then. So 17 and 8 is 25, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Elry, you're kind of like turning, and that same little like kind of light wooden ball plunks you on the back of the head as you're turning around, and there's Touhou standing about 15 feet away.
It is a shame. The only way I can get my friend's attention is to throw pet toys at him.
Elry will watch the ball drop to the ground. He'll sigh. He'll reach down and pick up the ball. And as that hamster is running towards him, just for a second, a briefest of moments, he will roll the ball towards the hamster.
And as you roll the ball, like Hellion like kind of like saw it and sees it and just like runs with a gusto, like a full like cavalry charge right at the ball, and like grabs it and rolls up in a ball and just starts tearing into it with his little teeth.
See, was that so difficult?
Yes.
I swear, we are going to work on your relationship. My brother, this is more of an excuse to talk to you for a moment, for I am losing my mind.
Me too.
All of this loss, my brother. I know you lost someone that you were starting to grow quite fond of. And I have lost Hellion's brother. We have lost crew. I have lost my mind, and I cannot stop thinking about my parents.
The parent thing I get. Listen, I know that you can't, we can't have the herbs or anything, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, wouldn't the druid have an oil extract of the blueberry?
Yeah, y'all have noticed Hoban, he's as chill as he's ever been. The smell of blueberries is not as prevalent on the in the air of the Dawn Rose. It's kind of returned back to its light garden fragrance that it usually has. But yeah, Hoban is just as chill. He's like been walking around. The rest of the wounded are finally kind of recovered. And he at this moment he's just kind of walking across deck, like heading over, helping with one of the destroyed catapult they've been rebuilding. And he looks like he's moving over there to talk to them.
Okay, hold on. Shh! Don't be cool, man. Be cool.
Okay.
And
listen,
Hoban,
I already got something from him.
And he takes out a little vial and shakes it.
I haven't tried any yet. I was saving it. We're supposed to put it on our pressure points, like our wrists and like on our throat. I don't understand it, but I want to do it.
Dakul immediately starts patting Eldery down. Where is it?
It's in my hand. Here, it's right here. I'm not going to hide it. I haven't done it yet either.
He very quickly takes it from him and pops the cap and just a deep smell, just a deep sniff. Oh, I smell the possibility.
Just, the way I understand this is it's just like a little dab will do ya. You just, like a cologne, I guess. Here, okay, but listen. If we share this right now, I need you to help me. Okay. I got an idea.
Oh, your ideas always have me end up fighting or drinking.
Well, you can't fight. Well, drinking maybe, but that's not bad. But we need to take the bridge of this ship.
Take it?
Yeah.
What?
Like, we can't take control over it?
Oh, wait. Are you having mutinous thoughts?
No. I mean, like, we need to be in there for a little bit. We need to get Ghost Cylinder out. And we need to... I want to sit in the chair. Hilda's not going to let me sit in the chair. She's already told me. Like, the ship has to be burning. I'm, like, the only one left. She didn't really say that, but the way she looked at me is...
I think we can do something about that. You know what? Yes, I am in the mood for a bit of mischief. Yes, you will sit in that chair.
Well, good. Let's get high and then go drive the ship.
I like the way you're thinking, Harry. I am feeling better already.
It's good to have you back. Now listen. You're spending too much time with a hamster.
Oh.
It's time to buckle up, my friend. We've got adventures to have here.
Yes, I am feeling more like my old self. And there is nothing wrong with Hellion. He's taking quite a liking to you, by the way. That's when a Dakul is going to kind of help himself to that bottle, and instead of rubbing it on a joint, he's gonna kind of do it like my grandma used to dip snuff, and just put it right there in the middle, right there, and let it just soak in.
That's not where you said to put, but okay.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Constitution save.
What's that? 93. That's 12.
A 12? Okay. Dakul, you like dab this on your finger, and already you can kind of start to feel a tingling like in your ears, and you like dab it in your mouth, and immediately like you're already in a psychedelic type environment. All these gases are flowing and fluctuating. You've gotten the primer about, we want to head towards red. There's an old sea, like a sailor kind of like saying, because that's where the flow is strongest in the direction whatever you're heading. But you touch this and immediately like your focus like like you do that rack focus that you see in movies.
Yeah.
Pushes at you, but you don't get any bigger, but everything else kind of expands out, and it's just like, and all the chatter on the bridge, they're hammering over there, like, you know, hammering a catapult, all that drifts away. And there's just this, you could almost hear the breeze of the Phlogiston as there's just this.
Hey, cool.
And you look over at Elry, and he's moving in slow motion, but not. Like he's talking, and his voice is not sounding the same as what he's saying. But Elry, what are you doing? As Touhou is like staring at you, like Touhou is like not moving. He's like moving his eyes a little bit, and he's like looking at you, but he's like not making any noise, and he's just kind of standing there staring at you. But he's awake. Other than that,
Touhou, can you hear me? We gotta take the bridge. You're not supposed to put it in your mouth.
The bridge, yes. We have to go to the bridge. Hey.
Works when I'm in charge. You know that.
No, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. You have to try some of this.
I will, but we gotta drive the ship first. I'm gonna put a little bit on my wrist.
He dabs a little bit on his wrist.
okay. Go ahead and make me a con save.
I'm gonna use a luck.
Elry's going to use luck to take drugs.
That is also a 12.
A 12? Okay. But you put it on your wrist. So
Okay.
you feel like just like the Elry, I assume you enjoy being a sailor. You enjoy the sea. You enjoy jumping in the water, feeling the surf on your face, that kind of thing, right? This feels like that feeling when you really need a bath and that's all you want. It starts at your wrist, like you're dipping your wrist in the perfect temperature water, and it runs up your arm until you're completely submerged. And as you like walk, it's almost like you're floating, like you're out in space again. And wherever you decide to go, you can move, but you're just kind of like walking in a bit of slow motion, and everything around you, the sounds have kind of basically gone down to about 80% normal speed. Touhou is still just kind of like staring at you, so continue as this.
All right, Touhou, come on. We're gonna take the bridge.
Yes, the bridge. That is where we need to go. And all the while, Touhou is like, he's got his pad that he's been scribbling on, and he's paying attention to everything that Elry is saying, but he's also halfway preoccupied of like going through the pages as they're like walking towards the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I have something that is fitting for you, Touhou. Touhou, no, Elry. I have something that is fitting for you, Elry, but I'll give it to you when we take control of the ship.
Here we go.
Okay, so is Xander on the bridge? Is he in the helm?
Yeah, you move down, and E and Hilda, you see Elry and Touhou kind of moving down below decks. They're chatting back and forth. Hellion is right at Touhou's heels, just kind of like, he's got this little ball in his mouth, and he's like jumping up and he just kind of sits there at the top of the stairs as they descend down into the mid deck. And Hellion is still left, just kind of sitting there, and he just lets the ball drop, and he begins chasing it on deck. Elry and Touhou, you enter the spell jamming room.
As soon as they get down to the mid deck or the second deck, as soon as they're getting ready to enter, all of a sudden a hat floats up beside them and a glove floats up beside them.
All right, guys. The rest of the gang's here. They're cool.
Yes. Huh? Yes.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Don't worry, I got a guy on the inside. And he walks in and locks the door behind him.
Okay.
Xander, it's the rest of the ghost crew. We need to take the ship.
And it takes a second. But you have piloted the ship before, and sometimes it takes a minute to get your focus back.
The gloved hand is snapping in front of him.
Without opening his eyes, he just kind of like, Elry, are you staring at me again?
Yep. You gotta get up. You gotta stand up.
It's my shift.
You gotta stand up and do drugs with us.
Oh God, you know what happened? Last time you thought I was. Oh God.
Yep.
All right.
Jesse.
Well, who's gonna fly the ship?
Me.
Oh God. And he actually like kind of cracks an eye open and looks at Ellery. He's like, is this an order?
Yes.
Nicole said so.
Oh God. And he kind of like flutters and his eyes kind of flash open. And you feel in the helm room, you can feel the slight shudder of him disconnecting with the ship. Although being in the Phlogiston, like the ship continues traveling. Like y'all are traveling at a tremendous clip. And you know, he kind of opens his eyes, he's like, all right, and he pulls the green helmet off and he's like, all right, well, you know, here, and he like gets up and he's shaking his head, like already hating himself for following this order. And he's like, well, you know, it'll be okay for a minute, but you know, you should probably reconnect.
Right, doing it right now.
Yes.
Claude, Han, hold the door. And you see the hat float over and holds the door, and the gloved hand floats over and holds the door. Xander, the Cool can see you now because he's in the spirit world.
Yes. Hey, Xander.
Hey,
It's good to see you.
hey, DeCool. Yeah, I mean, we had breakfast this morning. Sure. Yeah, it's good seeing you too.
Did you guys see the size of that chicken? What?
Excuse us, Xander. We have some business to attend. And Dakul's gonna haphazardly kind of like scoot him towards the door.
Oh, I thought. Okay, all right. And he kind of like his shoulders slump a little bit, and
He can stay. He's part of the ghost crew. He can stay.
Oh,
Give him one of those. Give him a drop. But put on your wrist. Don't put it in your mouth.
yeah.
God, is this that stuff from Hoban? Oh God. Okay.
Nope.
Oh,
No? Oh, okay. And he's like, oh, where'd you get it? And he's like,
Hoban.
oh, it smells like blueberries.
Yeah.
And he kind of dabs it.
it was picked from the mind of angels. Enjoy.
And DeCool, you're staring at Xander, and he like, you see his pupils like just, and his iris like disappears, and he just kind of like stares at you, and he's like,
He sees the chicken now.
my God, it's full of stars. And he just like,
Big chicken.
and falls back and hits the deck.
All right, the goal. Watch him. Han and Claude will hold the door. I'm gonna jump in the chair, put this funny hat on.
That is right. You are the big man now. Who's the big man? Who's the big man of the ship now?
Hold on, I gotta try.
And Emma, E and Hilda, make me perception checks. See if you notice the shudder of the ship as it kind of slowed down ever so slightly and then picked back up.
17.
18.
Yeah, y'all both noticed that the ship like kind of shuddered for a second. Like you know, Hilda, you have been out of in the Phlogiston before, and you're like, did the pilot just disconnect and then reconnect? You know, like you know what that feels like. So,
And we saw Jakul and Elry going down the stairs, yes?
yeah, you saw them slightly stumbling downstairs. Yes.
Hilda, what would you imagine the probability that
Alvi and Dakul are doing something.
I think we gotta get the fuck down there. Let's go.
Okay, so you get down to the door, and you, as you're coming downstairs, you hear a thump, like a heavy thump of maybe something hitting the ground. You're not really sure what it is. You think you hear maybe a snicker, like a laugh, like a giggle, and you get to the door. The door of the Spelljamming Helm is closed.
I attempt to open the door.
It's locked.
All right. E, got something for this?
I do not have any lock-picking skills, if that's what you are asking.
All right, then I got this. Hilda casts magic weapon at the 3rd level on her hammer.
Okay.
And, so she rolls. Do I need to roll to hit it?
No, it's a door.
It's a door.
Yeah, you just that's an auto. I'm gonna say that you cast magic weapon and you're hitting a wooden door. That's an auto crit.
Okay. All right. Just gonna do that.
Hold on, just before she does that, can Cool have one moment before you break down the door?
So Hilda's casting a spell and she's getting her hammer bringing it up to bear. Cool back inside as Elry has put the helmet on and begins to focus his spell energy into the helm itself. Cool, what do you?
He's gonna go through his pad of all of his paintings and gets to the one where there's the painting of the people that look like asteroids floating off, and it's beautiful, well done and bright colored. He's going to hold it right in front of Elry and say, "I want you to fly us here, brother."
That looks awful.
It is where we need to go. It is where our answers are. Fly us here, brother, and I promise you I will have a gift beyond measure for you.
Hilda does 17 damage to the door.
Okay, and so we're gonna go into a little bit of time dilation as you hear Dakul in there screaming, "Fly us here, brother!" And so you bring your hammer up and you're swinging it in. And Elry, as you have already infused your energy into the helm to connect with it, and you get Dakul throwing an image in front of your face of this horrid field of asteroids that look like people and this multi-legged, you saw the Nyogi. It's a Nyogi, standing on these asteroids. You see the familiar emblem hanging around its neck that Dakul has drawn in perfect detail. The same symbol that you saw on the Umber Hulk's head. But your consciousness is sucked in on itself, and all of that just zips away from your focus. And you roll backwards on yourself and then look up, and there is space in all of its expanse. The Phlogiston flowing, you can feel its winds just pulling at your sails, you feel like something pushing at your back. Ever forward, faster, ever faster. And you look around and you can look back and you can see, a week out from the Nerosphere, and you can actually kind of see the sphere itself. It's this faint rim of glass, and at the heart of it, you can see the star burning bright. The portal long in the distance. It is now just kind of a glass globe, just hovering just so, sitting on top of the red, purple, and bluish clouds. And your focus comes back forward, and Celestra is standing in front of you.
I knew it.
Hello, Elry. And then there's a crash in your focus, and you feel this pain within you as Hilda's hammer slams and splinters the door, and Celestra jerks her head and is like, Miko, stop! And that's where we're going to stop it. That's where we're going to leave off. As Elry is arguing with a ghost. So anyway, there is our first adventure into the Phlogiston. I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit more slower paced for this. We just had 2 adventures of vicious fighting, and I wanted the crew to reflect on the recent events and take things in before moving out into the wider world or wider galaxy or universe of the Vortex. En route to the Touhou sphere to see these beasts, these cosmic entities, lumber about in their pathways amongst the stars. So let's go around to cast and crew, see what everybody thought. Where we ended with Greg, that's where we're going to begin here. Elry. Greg, what's going on, man?
Man, I have a blast playing this. Elry is just, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And unfortunately, everybody else that RPs with me has to deal with it, and you have to deal with it. But
I love it.
He's the absolute best. He's pure unfettered wish fulfillment. Whatever I want to do, I could just do. I love playing with these people. The comments that come out, all of these characters. We haven't really played too terribly long with them, if you think about it. But the fact that I feel like I've known them since the moment that everybody took control of it, it's unreal. This is just a fantastic group, a fantastic DM, a fantastic production team. I'm incredibly blessed and happy to be here every week. Chat is always on point. We had a Generation 1 Transformers comment tonight. We had a Young Guns reference that I put into my own RP because in the spirit world.
Spirit world.
Can't see us because we're in the spirit world. But I love it. I love being here. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Obviously, you can see me here every week. Tomorrow, I'll be on with Pruitt from 1 to 4 on Encounter Roleplay, doing a little Call of Cthulhu. On Friday, I am doing Firefly RPG on my own channel. From this week, it's 12 to 4. On Saturday, I have my brand new Pulp Cthulhu show, 2nd episode with Kiana, Project Kronos, as we delve into time fuckery and punching Nazis, which couldn't be any better. We have our season finale on Learn by Play on Wizards of the Coast on Saturday night from 6 to 9. On Sunday, I have Project Athena, also Pulp Cthulhu, on my channel from 7 to 9. Monday, Atomic Cthulhu. On Encounter Roleplay, a lot of Cthulhu. And Tuesday, I'll be back here. And also Conan on my channel is starting at the end of the month with Emma. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. But guys, I can't wait to be back here. See you later, chat.
Yes, oh my God, man. I'm just going to say right quick, Project Kronos. Holy shit. I was totally like, what the hell is going on? I want to know more. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know what's going on either, Pruitt.
It was amazing. Anyway, that's a perfect segue, Kiana, because now we're going to bump it on over to you.
Hi. Yeah. Holy shit. This was really great to kind of have some nice role playing, really kind of get some moments and get really deep in with the characters. Got hit with feels a lot. A lot of feels. Almost cried, but I didn't.
Get you yet.
Greg was the one who almost got me, so you can talk to him about that. But no, I love this crew. I love this game. I love everybody involved. It's so great. And I'm always so happy to get into the shoes of E and have a little fun. It's so much fun. But yeah, until next week, you guys can find me over on Twitter at KidaS, where I like talking about tabletop stuff and life and accidentally going viral, which was a circus this weekend. But I'm also on a podcast called Lady Slaying Dragons, which releases new episodes every Sunday evening. So it's me, 2 cool ladies talking about D&D, tabletops, any aspect of it. It's super fun. In July, we have a whole series of interviews talking about visual representation in tabletop games. So that's super exciting. I'm very excited for that. On Mondays, as Greg said, I'm over on Atomic Cthulhu and Counter Roleplay, where I'm bringing a new character because Greg killed mine last week. Yay. On Wednesdays, I'm over on Scraticus' channel, DMing One Shot Wonders, which is a series of one-shots with a new setting every month. We get in anybody who wants to play. We are doing Ravenloft this month. super fun, and Feywild in July, and Dark Sun over in August. So that's super exciting. So make sure to hit up Scoticus if you are interested in playing. And of course, Project Chronos, which is the new Pulp Cthulhu game over with Greg. It's blowing all of our minds. I have no idea what's happening. I have 2 notebooks to keep track of 2 different timelines. That's where we're at now. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, again, cannot wait for next week, as always, on Tuesdays, where we get to go off into space, have some wild adventures, and have so much fun with this amazing people.
Wait, you mean there are other timelines? What? Sorry, that's a community reference. Next, we're going to move on over to Trey. Trey, man. Dude.
Hey, wow. It's always something. It's always something, right? I mean, it's just a testament to your madness, bro. So I'm going to go ahead and give the bow. Even on an episode where we're supposed to kind of get a little bit more laid back as compared to the other 2 shitstorms that we just went through, we still find a way, production finds a way to just keep it a page turner. I mean, I got to be perfectly honest with you. The time on this one flew almost faster than it did last week's, just simply because of the storytelling and just really just being all into the storytelling and not necessarily relying as much as the rolling. It just shows the levels and the depth of how much intricacy there is in this game that we're playing, and that's just a testament to you, brother. Thank you. My name is Trey Murphy. You can reach me on the Twitter sphere at Centel and on Instagram at Centel as well. I've got to do my plug for Lights, Camera, Discover, where we teach the filmmaking process and the storytelling process to young kiddies, man, so we can get them out there making and building great movies, television shows, becoming great D&D masters, all this good stuff. It all boils down to storytelling, man, and we really go out of our way to make sure we give these kids an outlet to express themselves. So please hit me up whenever you have time. Oh, one more quick thing. To the individuals that did hit me in my DMs on Twitter, I am so sorry I have not responded. I have a problem getting back, switching my settings and getting the notices. So I will hit you back. My apologies. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is absolutely a joy to be a part of. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I love having you here every week. I love this crew. Emma, last but not least.
Yes.
Emma Lambert with hit us with what you got.
This was an excellent week. Hilda's feeling down, but that doesn't mean that the session has to be down, and that's the wonderful thing. Even in a session where we're in the middle, things still happen and things still move forward, and that's a wonderful thing. Feel good that I still got to cast a big fucking cleric spell at the end. That's always nice. But yes, I love this game. It's so much fun. You never know where it's going to go, except it's probably going to involve drugs of some kind, which means it's the kind of game for me. It's good. I like it. Yeah, it's wild. I'm excited to see what happens next. So next week, my big thing will be over. On Sunday, this Sunday, mere 5 days away, is Escape from Flavortown, WebDM's very first charity game benefiting the Girls Empowerment Network Central Texas nonprofit, which helps girls be what they want to be more successful, and be better people. This is a women in tabletop gaming event. So happy to be a part of that. We've got those amazing people on the screen: Satine Phoenix, Lisa Chen, my best friend Autumn Umphris, and Sydney Shields of Encounter RP. It's going to be amazing. Some crazy stuff's about to happen the next couple days, you guys. So just watch all those shows you watch all the time, and you might hear something about it. Yeah, I'm excited. Please join us Sunday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for some Funkalicious Flavortown. Yes.
And the escape from thereof. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. So anyway, as we draw to a close, I just want to say once again to chat out there, thank you for being awesome. I can't always read everything, but that's why I love rewatching these shows, so I can go back and see what y'all say, and I laugh my ass off every time. You never disappoint. This cast is amazing. I want to give a big shout out to both Brandon Herbert, our man behind the curtain, our Wizard of Oz, as it were, the man who is flipping the switches, and he's doing an amazing job. And also, so you can follow him at War Eagle Keep on Twitter. Also, providing the art that he then sometimes manipulates and moves around and adds colors to and messes with the opacity and all that fun Photoshop stuff is Alexa Bonner. You can follow her at Alexa_art. But their Twitter handles are off in the side there. Be sure to follow them for all of this amazing art. So before we go, I just got to hit y'all up again. If you don't already subbed or followed, go ahead and click those buttons. If you got that Amazon Prime, go ahead and send that over. Check out our Patreon. We're providing the links over in the chat. There might be some stuff that you might like. One last shout out to our sponsors. Our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, over at tabletoploot.com. WebDM15, that's the code. Get you 15% off shirts, mugs, and dice. So that's it. Until next week, we'll see you on Tuesday, where we will be pulling into the Touhou sphere and see what kind of shenanigans this crew can get up to as I screw it up right before we get out of here. So, as we always say, may the dice ever roll in your favor.